Hey, what's up, body bags? This I said all month I'm doing reviews for Criterion films. Criterion sale happening at Barnes and Noble all month. It's the only reason why I figured, um, might as well mention some standout releases that they have that horror fans would definitely be interested in picking up. So today I decided to review Straw Dogs. Came out in 1971, 117 minutes, and this is directed by Sam Peckinpah, who he's most notably known for doing a lot of westerns and stuff, but his movies always have a really dark and really violent edge to them. He just a really like depraved kind of violence that a lot of movies back in this day didn't have. Because this wasn't like a what do you call it, exploitative filmmaker. He wasn't like Wes Craven or anything. He was like really respected in Hollywood and all that, but he was just making these really like violent kind of darker films. But this is essentially Dustin Hoffman. He's a wealthy writer and all that. He ends up marrying this blonde chick. I don't remember her name. I should Susan George. He ends up marrying Susan George, and they go back to her hometown. They buy like this cottage or whatever, and he wants to write and all that. So they go to retreat at this cottage pretty much, and she's had some relationships with some sketchy people back in her day, and he ends up hiring them to kind of do renovations and fix up the house and all that. And essentially, they want the girl back. They're jealous and pissed that Dustin Hoffman, this nerdy kind of outsider, is with the girl now, so they're planning on, kind of getting the girl back by any means necessary. And that's the general plot of it, boiled down to a really simplistic version. There's more to it, but I don't want to give anything away. But yeah, I think the film's really well done. I think there's a lot of good tension. I think if you're a fan of Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave or those kind of movies, this fits perfect with it. It's definitely like a 70s revenge style film, and it's really well done. It's really gritty, although Criterion did an amazing job with this transfer. It looks beautiful, but I've never had a complaint with a Criterion transfer ever. So any movie that's guaranteed to have a beautiful transfer, it looks amazing. The deep blacks are deep, all the colors really pop. It's really good. Now, a remake of this did come out quite a few years ago, like James Marsden, and I don't remember who played the female, but it was a good remake. If you've seen that, you got the whole gist with this. It's pretty much the same story. They pretty much faithfully recreated it. So if you have seen the remake, I wouldn't expect a whole lot new with this, although this is the more grittier 70s version of it. I thought the killers, or I don't know, they're not really killers, but I thought they look better in this. There's one in particular, he has like this fake nose he wears and stuff, and he looks pretty cool. But yeah, this has the whole bear trap thing like the remake did and all that, so there's all that. This just has a more gritty, more realistic vibe to it than the remake does, and the remake is just a little too polished for my taste because it's recreating this story, and I did see this first, so of course it's going to be the lesser film to me. Now, the Blu-ray, the special features are, new 4K digital transfer, audio commentary from 2003 by Stephen Price, author of Savage Cinema, Sam Peckinpah, and the Rise of Ultraviolent Movies. So you have an audio commentary by a scholar of Sam Peckinpah. Man Trap, Straw Dogs, The Final Cut, a 2003 documentary about the making of the film, which is really extensive. Sam Peckinpah, Man of Iron, a 1993 documentary on the man himself. So you get two 2-hour documentaries on this thing, which is worth the price alone, because it's a really interesting hearing about this Sam Peckinpah guy. He had a lot of worries. He was a really kind of paranoid, kind of clean-cut dude, but he just had a fascination with ultra-violent stuff in realistic settings, to where it's not horror, but it's realistic, down and dirty, homegrown violence, New conversation between critic Michael Srago and filmmaker Roger. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this name. New interview with film scholar Linda Williams about the film's controversies. Archival interviews with the actors and Sam Peckinpah. Behind the scenes footage, TV spots, plus an essay and a book or whatever. So yeah, because of the book, it's pretty packed. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better edition. I think this should be in every horror fan's Criterion Collection. It's a must-have for sure, because Criterion didn't release a whole lot of horror, and what they do release is either like really old, like Carnival of Souls or The Cat People or Silence of the Lambs, but most of what they release is like this and Silence of the Lambs or Antichrist, where it's not specifically horror, but it does go good in horror fans' collections. So if you're going to pick up a stack of Criterions this month, they're all $20. You should consider this one for sure. It's a really awesome, fun film. Well, I wouldn't say fun, but it's a really well done film. But I'll leave it at that, and I'll see y'all next Monday with another Criterion release. Peace.